Hello and welcome to Jedi Jingle Maker. This is my YouTube channel where I highlight gear. I also play that gear in original music that I create all the time, pretty frequently, just about every week. If you're interested in checking out my original music, please go to any major music platform like Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube Music and just type in Jedi Jingle Maker and you will find it. You can also find my music under my new band, which is called Hunnitap, Hunnitap. And we will be performing live. I have started already streaming. This is something that I've been interested in doing for a while, and I finally got all the pieces together. In this video, I'm going to tell you about all those pieces, and then I might dive into it deeper in future videos. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in other topics related to this, but it was somewhat of a mystery, and I'll tell you everything that I did and my thought process and the pieces, parts that I have chosen that you might use. Please remember, affiliate links to all of the things I mention in this video are down in the description. If you click on one of those links and then buy something, it gives a small percentage back to me. I bought all of this stuff with my own money, and I'm not sponsored by anybody. Okay, let's get right into the video. So I'm running a computer, a tower computer down here that has, I think, an i7 processor in it and a fair amount of RAM. So that's the first thing, is to have a good quality, fast computer. I think it's running Windows 11. So the part that I started with is this Focusrite audio interface, which is a really reliable and kind of staple thing in any music recording setup, any computer setup. This allows you to translate your analog signal from your guitar into a digital signal going into USB into your computer. So that's great for interfacing with the DAW, interfacing with a streaming software. So you can just use something like that. This has two inputs and you could just stream directly into that. The only limitation is that if you want to have music coming in as a backing track or some third thing, if you were just doing like a mic and a guitar, you could use this. However, my desire was to go far beyond that and have the ability to play with my bandmate in Hunnitap and also be able to have multiple mics, and this is what I ended up with. Now, how did I decide to get a Zoom L-8 live track device, which is what this thing is? It's the Zoom L-8 live track. How did I decide? Well, it's like most of the other significant musical gear purchases I make. I always run it past my sales engineer at Sweetwater, who I do trust after many purchases, which have, quite frankly, all gone well when I simply listen to the person that knows the gear. When I've gone rogue and decided, no, that's a little, I don't want to spend that much money, and then I go get something different, and then I'm disappointed I end up getting the thing they recommended anyway. So this is an example of that. I was looking at the Yamaha mixer. There's a Yamaha mixer that's pretty popular. Did a fair amount of research on that. There's a lot of videos on it. It's widely used. But when I asked my man Ray over at Sweetwater, he instantly recommended this because of the live streaming part of what I was trying to accomplish. This Zoom L8 is really set up to enable live streaming, to enable internet connected stuff. It goes directly USB out into the computer, and you can set it as an audio interface, so it'll accomplish the same thing as that. It translates it into digital. And it also allows you to have 8 inputs and run in a auxiliary cable. You see, this is just a, if you look at that, that's just the little jack size that you can run directly out from your phone or a computer or whatever, but in this case I'm running it to my phone, so I get this little, I think they call it a lightning connector, but this little connector, and then I can play the backing tracks, which are all on the channel, directly into the mixer. So that's incredible because there are several types of line inputs, and I won't go into that here, but the type of signal that's coming in from your phone, I believe that's called a balanced input, but the point is, it is different than the type of signal you're getting in from a microphone or a guitar, in my case. And you can see I have one of each running in right now. However, I will have at least 2 more microphones in future setups and at least 1 more guitar. And I think I'm going to leave that for another microphone for a wood block. A well-placed wood block in songs is very important. That's my thought. And then it gives you 2 of these balanced inputs where you can put in like a keyboard or something else. Now, that leads me to a hole in my setup, which is right now I can play guitars galore, no problem, straight into this thing. I can really control as many mics as I want. Look, here's another interesting thing. You can see it allows you to mute each one of these channels, and it also allows you to interface in phone calls in if you do like, you know, guests on your podcast type of thing. But this is the whole. The ability to play my MIDI keyboards, my MIDI gear to trigger MIDI, let's say through, well, this to start, and then later other devices that trigger MIDI during performances, like those pad things that you can touch, that type of thing. So I want to incorporate MIDI. However, my audio situation on this computer is already taken up by this whole OBS streaming software. By the way, OBS is the streaming software that I use. It's a freeware program. So this I'm going to run out of a separate computer, this one, which is one of my other computers. I'm going to run it out of there and then run a line out of this computer into one of these inputs. So that should be super cool, I think, but I'm going to have to cross that bridge completely when I try to make it all work, but that's my thought. There is a way to do it. If you know, by the way, easiest way to incorporate MIDI into your situation like this, let me know. I haven't really started researching it yet, but that's the last hole. Other than that, this thing does a lot of neat stuff, and I'll just cover some of the things I've gotten working already. One is to assign these. You can see they have hall, room, they have types of reverb, delay, chorus, a vocal preset, another one. You can apply effects to these channels. So I applied the reverb to this vocal channel, and it sounded, I thought pretty good. It allows you to control how much of the effect goes in using this. So I was pretty pleased with that. You could really tune it in, and there's a lot of effects, kind of things you can change both in the digital parameters, but also using these knobs to alter the signal. So that's pretty cool. It also allows you to play these sound pads, which the sound pads are like the transition sounds you can just trigger during live streams. I don't know if you can change which sounds are triggered there. I haven't looked into that yet, but kind of interesting. It'll let you apply power to the mic, 48 volts, so you can use like a condenser mic. The features just go on and on and on. And I'm pretty happy with this. It cost around $400, which I thought was very reasonable. It's going to do everything that I need to do. Now, the last thing that I love about this thing, which I haven't done yet, you can see it says recorder here, and each one of these has a rec play. You use this to also, while you're streaming, record. It'll record to a SD card what you play through it when you trigger the record thing. Then it saves each one of these outputs as a clean signal, not like if you applied these signals, it takes that out of it. It saves all of the things that you have set to record by turning them on to a separate file, which means you can take this in post-recording, import it into a DAW, and remix and remaster it from a clean signal. That is so incredible. That makes this basically an 8-track recorder. I have not gotten to that part of this yet, but I'm really excited about that. Here's the other thing. It is battery operated as well as you can power it through USB. So that means you could take this anywhere. And since you can just hook it through USB up to a computer, that means you could hook it up through USB up to a phone to stream or to record or to whatever. So, wow, what a game changer type of thing. I'm so glad I didn't just go off and buy that Yamaha, actually. Even though that's a good mixer, my buddy's got one of those. This is gonna be much better for what I'm gonna do, but when you see Jedi Jingle Maker streaming, that is what I'm running through. And so far, so good. Now, in addition to that, check out the link to the video at the end of this video if you want to check out my pedal board setup. That's how I get all my guitar tones. I can get bass tones, I can get lead tones, I can get all of it from that. I can also alter keyboard signal with it, but this is a bass I use sometimes. But the point is that that's my setup, and I'm going to go into that in the next video. If you're interested, please check that out. If not, thanks for watching. Hope I see you back sometime. Also, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment if you're interested in any of this stuff, and thanks for watching Jedi Jingle Maker.